Hey guys, today we continue Unit 7 looking at quadratic equations and the different parts of them. I just wanted to point out to you that one of the formulas that we're going to use is on your formula chart. So I pulled up your formula chart. It's right down on the screen or right on the screen. It is the last line of your formula chart, the axis of symmetry. So when you get that question on the test that says, what is the axis of symmetry? Use the formula. So we're going to have two ways to find the axis of symmetry. One is to look at a graph, and it's super easy. Just go, there it is. But when you look at an equation, you're going to have to use the formula. Okie dokie, let's get going. So hope you have your notes out in front of you. The axis of symmetry is a line that divides the parabola. It's that line that goes straight down and creates a mirror image. The vertex is the point where the parabola crosses the axis of symmetry. The vertex is either the highest, which means it'll be the maximum point, or it'll be the lowest, which will make it the minimum point. And I'm going to show you an example right now as you're copying all this down. So on the first parabola, there it is. It's the minimum. On this one, it's the maximum. On the final one, it is the minimum. So you can see that's the vertex of each one. Now I'm going to name the vertex. This one, it's going to be 1, 0. This one, it will be -2, +4. And this one, it's going to be 5, 3. All right? Moving on. The axis of symmetry, here's that line that just divides it. That is an equation of the line. It's an x line. And so it is x equals 1. On this one, it's x equals -2. And on this one, it is x equals 5. Now I'm going to go ahead and show you right now. It's one of the questions at the bottom of the paper. But if you notice, the x value of the vertex and the line of symmetry are the same exact number. So note that. It might save you some time later. The domain. So before I answer that question, I'm going to go ahead and add arrows to the first graph, arrows to the second graph, and I'm going to go ahead and add dots on the third graph just to mix things up and make it a little bit different. Now remember, the domain are the x values, and that parabola we're just assuming will go on and on forever. So the x value is, or the domain is, all real numbers for the first one, all real numbers for the second one. But for the third one, there's a bottom and there's a top to it. So that minimum value is going to go to the left. The maximum value is going to go to the right. And because they're dots and not circles, we're going to do less than equal, less than equal. All right, the range is the y's. So on the first one, it's everything above the y. So y is greater than equal to 0. And you can look at the vertex. There's that 0 right there. The next one, it's y, it's below. So it's y is less than that vertex. It's less than equal to, and less than equal to what? The 4, which again, if you look right here at the vertex, there's the same value. Now the next one's a little bit different because there's restrictions on it. There's a beginning and there's an end. So I'm going to put my y in the middle, and I'm going to look at the lowest point. The lowest point here is a 3. Oops, and I just noticed a mistake. I did domain wrong. So let's look at domain. I'm going to have to fix this right here. Oh, people are going to be coming up to me and asking me about that, but I caught myself, thank goodness. So if I look at my domain, it actually starts at a 3 still, and then it ends at a 7. Caught it, thank goodness. Here we go. Let's move on. Moving on here. Concavity, if you look at the first one, it's up. The next one is down. and the next one it is up. So looking at the graph is pretty easy. We already answered this question right here. So now let's look at the equations. Equations a little bit weirder. Okay, first off, I just want to note that this formula is on your formula chart. All right. And also, to do what we're going to do, the equations need to be written in standard form. Ax squared plus bx plus c. So just keep that in mind. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and look at the first one, and it is written in that form. And because it's written in that form, I know that x is 1. I'm sorry. A is 1. B is a -2, and C is a -3. I just know that. All right, now if I look at the next equation, it is not written in standard form. So I'm going to move that x squared over. Plus x squared plus x squared. So now it has y. We have a positive x squared minus 8x plus 12. And the next one, I need to move over the -2x squared, and I need to move this 2 over. So I have a y equals -2x squared plus 2, and then there's just a 0 there. We don't care about the 0. Actually, the 0 became 2. All right. Now, let's look again at what is A, what is B, what is C, because we have to identify that to do some of these other things that we're going to do. This one, A is 1, B is a -8, C is 12. This one, A is a -2. There is no B. There's not x to the power of 1, so B is going to be 0. And C is 2. All right. Now, concavity up or down. Let's look at number 2 up here. It says if A is positive, it's up. If A is negative, it is down. So the first one, A is a positive 1, so it's up, which means if I graphed that equation, it would look like this. The next one, the next equation, A is positive, so it's up. Again, if I graphed it, it would look like this. And the next one, A is negative, so if I graphed it, whoops, excuse me, it is down. And if I graphed it, it would look like this. Okay. We have our equations in standard form. We know our concavity. This one, it would be the minimum, minimum, maximum. So far, so easy, right? Let's keep going. Line of symmetry. Now, here's where you're like, bing, I need to look at my formula chart. So x equals -b times 2a. So b, if you notice, in the first equation was -2. So I'm going to put that in -2, 2 times a, which is 1. So we end up with a +2 over a +2, which is 1. So x equals 1. That is my, that is my line of symmetry. Let's do the next one. X equals -b times 2a. -b is a -8. So I have a -8 over 2 times 1, because a is 1 again. A isn't always 1, but it is on these two. So now I have 8 over 2, which is 4. So our line of symmetry is x equals 4, which again, remember, the line of symmetry is this line, this vertical line that cuts the parabola in half. Next one, x equals -b 2 times a. X equals -0, 2 times a -2, because now a is not 1, it's a -2, but it doesn't really matter because the whole thing ends up being 0. Line of symmetry. You can do it. Vertex. Now to find the vertex, remember the vertex is when I have a parabola, this is the vertex. We know what the x value is, but we need to figure out the y value. So we're going to put the x back into the equation to find the y. So for the first one, y is 1 squared minus 2 times 1 minus 3. Y equals 1 minus 2 minus 3. Y equals negative 4. So my vertex is 1, negative 4. It's not just a negative 4. I have to write the entire ordered pair. Next one, y equals 4 squared minus 8 times 4 plus 12. Y equals 16 minus 32 plus 12. Y equals negative 4. And don't hesitate to put this in your calculator. So this one, if x is 4, then it's 4, negative 4. The last one, y equals negative 2 times 0 squared plus 2. Y equals 2. So we have 0, 2. Okay, domain and range. Now, when you're looking at an equation, a quadratic equation, you just have to assume that there's arrows. We can't, unless they tell us something else, or it's a word problem that says something else, we just assume that it goes on and on forever. So x is going to be all real numbers for all of these. Okay, but not so the y. So for the y, remember on the first one, y we decided was negative 4. And up here, we decided that it was up, concave up. That means that y is greater than or equal to negative 4. The next one, we decided again that y negative 4. If we look up here, we decided that that is the minimum point. So y is greater than equal to negative 4. Last one, we decided that y is 2. Remember right here? And if I look up here, it is the maximum. So everything is less than that point. So y is less than or equal to 2. That's the whole lesson. Good luck with it. Use your formula, please. All right, see you later. Bye-bye.